We have 6 of our 7 members here, including a first-time member, Jill Howard, on my left. Welcome.
Welcome.
I'm happy to be here.
Okay. This time, we need to approve the minutes. Everybody had a chance to read the minutes? If there aren't any additions, corrections, what, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes submitted.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from August 10th.
We have a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Jill didn't vote because she wasn't here. Quick, pass it down to Bill. Maybe I'll sign it.
Move it down again. There it goes. Those are the minutes.
This goes down to Barrett. Okay, we have no old business tonight. New business, we have public hearing, site plan review approval, Northview Christian Church, 623 North State Road 39, 12.85 acres.
Could we possibly go back to appointing a BZA member to the, or appointing someone from the Plan
That was on
Commission?
there first, wasn't it? Sorry.
That's okay, no problem.
We need to appoint a member to the BZA because our former member left, he was also on the BZA. So I asked Jill if she'd be interested, and she said she would, so if somebody would care to make a motion, I would entertain that.
I move that Jill Howard be appointed as the member to the BZA.
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Rimpert.
Here.
Mr. Harvey.
Aye.
Mr. Thompson.
Aye.
I guess Ms. Howard can't vote. Mr. Van Leer.
Aye.
I vote aye as well.
And as your luck has it, this month, the BZA is tomorrow night.
Jump right in.
Usually it's a week apart.
And you don't have a packet, so before you leave here, we'll print you one up.
Okay.
So you can take it home with you tonight. Okay.
I'll be reading until the wee hours. Thank you.
Your husband probably does that a lot too
I think he
anyway.
does. He does.
Okay, now, we'll go to the new business. Public hearing, site plan review for Northview Christian.
No,
Wait a minute, that's the
that's
minutes.
last week, last month. Of course, we could approve it.
I can't even find my, oh, we're on screen tonight. Public hearing, text amendment ordinance number 26-2020, amending local business permitted uses, subsection 8.2B.9 and appendix A. Use matrix of the Danville zoning ordinance.
Okay, so just to give you a little bit of history, last month, the Plan Commission heard, get this right, the BZA heard a use variance for a self-storage facility in Danville at Gill at the Crossing. One of the things that kind of prompted this was the developer would have been able to have gone in and constructed multifamily housing without having to go through a rezone because it's permitted in the local business. So they decided not to do that because there were so many residents that came out and were opposed to multifamily housing. They decided to ask for use variance to have self-storage. So that got approved, but we were asked by the council to look at doing a text amendment, taking the multifamily use out of the local business. So after looking at what some other municipalities are doing, they don't do that. They don't allow multifamily housing in the local business. So that's what this text amendment will do. This is the public hearing for it. It will go to the town council, the first meeting, I think it's October 7th. No, actually, it's on the agenda for Wednesday night. So this Wednesday night, it will go before the council. So it's here for public hearing and a recommendation to the council. Yes,
Does anybody on the board have any questions?
yes.
Multifamily dwellings are allowed in what zoning area?
Uh,
Or what?
Right now, they're permitted in the R4, in the R3 and R4, and the local business.
So this does not eliminate them from the plan, they have a place to go.
Yes, that is correct. And there may be, without looking at it right now, I don't recall, it may be a special exception in one of the districts, but I don't recall for sure. I don't know. I'd have to look at that, but, yeah.
Sue?
Okay, up at the top, got it.
Oh, that's right, I did give you a copy of that, didn't I?
What are the circles that aren't filled in? What's that indicate on there?
Let's see.
Artificial lakes of 3 or more acres.
So, special exception is probably what
Okay.
the circle is. So, yeah, it is not permitted in any of the commercial districts, except for local business right now, which this amendment would remove that.
Now,
So,
do we have any multifamily dwellings in the local district? There are some businesses that have apartments above them.
I think at one time, I think this was an amendment that was done, I think at one time, Barry, you might remember this, since I wasn't here, they were permitted in a lot of the residential districts, and I think they changed that, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Well,
Because I think they used to be like, because I've read some of the things, and it's like some of the
Yeah.
apartments that are in town, they're grandfathered, meaning
Okay.
that they were permitted at one point in time.
So the apartments above courthouse grounds and all of that
They're
are
legal,
grandfathered?
right, legal non-conforming.
Okay,
So if they would want to come back and establish an apartment, they would have to either get a use variance or do a rezone.
But
So-
that's a different zoning district on the square.
Yeah,
So it's not local business.
That's not local
No.
business.
right.
Cen-
It's going to be central
Different.
business.
And they don't
Different
overlap.
zones.
Right.
Okay.
thank you.
And it only pertains to new build, so if it's not in central business, it's in local business. So buildings that are now used for multifamily, do they continue that usage also?
They can
So-
continue, yes, as
Okay.
a legal non-conforming,
Okay,
yes. They would not be allowed to expand or, they could do remodeling if they needed to, but they wouldn't be able to expand outside the boundaries that they currently exist.
So Lisa, is this a typical change that
Yeah.
is,
Yeah, I started looking at some of the other ordinances to see if they were permitted in other business, commercial districts, and most of the towns, they're not.
Okay.
They're permitted in their multifamily or their higher density, single-family districts.
Back to the circles, because I see them scattered throughout. What does that mean?
The ones that aren't solid, the
That
ones
aren't
that are.
solid?
The ones that are hollow, that means
Yeah.
a special exception.
Or
They're-
what?
It means they're permitted by special exception.
Okay, you'd
So
have
they
to have a special exception to have. it.
Right.
Okay.
So they're still reviewed by the
Yeah,
board.
Okay.
But
Any
it-
other questions?
I do have one more question. In the other areas, I'm not saying we have to do the same thing. Were they permitted by special exception? In the
I don't
other-
recall, Barry.
Okay.
If they were, it would show up on here. So, yeah, I don't know. I can't answer that.
Because I know in some districts, it's a good buffer between business and residential to
Right.
have this
And
multifamily.
I think the thinking at one time was local business was like a lower density commercial. It was more like your neighborhood type uses, coffee shop or maybe a salon. So they kind of, they existed together. Okay, so I think that was the thinking back when this ordinance was done. But, because I know when I was with the county that at one time, it was a special exception in a business district, or even some of the other lower density residential districts.
So would it make sense to make this a special exception? Because if it did come before the plan commission, it would still have to get completed by the town council?
Well, they still have the option to go for a use variance.
Okay.
So if it's something that seems like it would be a good fit, depending on the area, they would still have the option of a use variance.
Okay.
Any other questions? At this time, I will open it up to the public if they have anything they want to say about this subject. No? Okay. That closes the public portion of the subject. Back to you, the folks here, no more questions? None. We have two choices. Favorable recommendation to the town council for proposed zoning ordinance text amendment, or an unfavorable recommendation for proposed zoning ordinance text amendment.
I'll make a motion.
Motion.
I'll make a motion to make a favorable recommendation for the text amendments ordinance number 26-2020.
We have a favorable recommendation for the proposed subject. Do I hear a second?
Second the motion?
We have a second. Barry, roll call, please.
Ms. Rimpert,
Aye.
Mr. Harvey,
Aye.
Mr. Thompson,
Aye.
Ms. Howard,
Aye.
Mr. Greg Van Leer,
Aye.
and I vote aye as well.
Carries 6-0. Thank you. Okay, item 2.
Next item is the Hendricks County Historical Museum. They are wanting to, or erect, it's really not constructing, they want to erect a storage shed. And I've put a copy of that in your packet. It's a craftsman style, as you can see. They are in the corridor protection overlay district, so anything that's constructed within that district has to go before the design review committee. So they were heard by the design review committee and got a favorable recommendation, so they're here before you tonight to get approval to erect this small little craftsman style shed.
Is this a plastic building?
Yeah, I think so.
And they approved that? And they
Yeah.
approved it? Really?
Is this, I think part of it hangs on the definition of structure. Is this a constructed on-site
I agree.
shed, or is it a shed that is pre-purchased in place?
I believe it's gonna be one that's purchased that's already constructed. There'd just be, Barry would know a little bit more about that, but I think based on what they've submitted, it's gonna be one that's already constructed.
It's pre-manufactured.
Yeah.
It's a vinyl little
Probably have to
outbuilding.
put it together, though.
Yeah. Comes in a box.
From what I understand,
it's
they had a
terrible.
donor who would donate the time and the shed. So whoever donated, they were going to help.
So there's nothing in the overlay about materials for buildings?
There are, and they do have they have to qualify for whatever they have submitted, although resin material is not anything that's restricted, so,
Okay,
you
well.
know.
The only street it can be seen from would be
Jefferson.
Broadway.
Um,
South.
Yeah, Jefferson, because it really actually
This
is,
comes out to Jefferson?
yeah,
It's
kind of the back of that
Right.
house on the
replacing
corner.
right here.
yeah. And I put a copy So you have a
There's
color
a-
copy in your
That's next to
packet.
That
This
house
is
on the
not the
corner.
old jail right here.
No,
Oh, I was
it's
thinking
that house.
wrong
No.
building.
Yeah, that's what I did at first too.
I was just around too.
Well,
it-
there's the music, it's that, it's on
across the
Broadway
street.
and Jefferson, so it's
Yeah.
a block west. There's the laundromat.
Yeah, I know
Museum behind
exactly
it,
where
but
that
that
is,
would not be
yeah.
the museum
I
either,
didn't know that
'cause-
they
well,
owned it till.
no, it would be, because if this is Jefferson,
It's used
then that
simply for
is the
storage.
museum, right? The back end of,
There's a house in between, there's a wizard business, and then the museum. So it's that house, another house in between, and then the museum.
So this is part of an ongoing project of theirs. They purchased this house. They've just recently put in some new windows, and they've done a few other things to the building. So they're just trying to improve the property.
so is it a temporary structure? Or it's,
It'll have to be permanently placed, right, Barry?
Well, I mean, it, in all sense of the word, it's not a building according to the building code. It's
Oh.
basically where it's placed on the lot. It doesn't qualify because it's less than 200 square feet.
okay,
So it's not really considered, it's not bound by the building code. So it's all about where it's placed and what it looks like in the area.
So our duty is, since the DRC recommended it, approved the recommendation, right?
They did.
Then it is up to us to either affirm that or, yeah. Anybody else have any questions about it?
If they want to take it down, do they have to come back?
No, because of
Doesn't require
the,
demolition?
It requires a demolition permit, but they would not have to come back to the
here.
plan commission
To take it down.
to remove
Right.
it, no.
Okay.
is that what you were asking? Do
Yes,
they have to
ma'am.
come back? No.
This is truly an accessory structure to the principal. It's hard to tell from this picture whether that building's attached, but I'm assuming it's not attached.
No, it's not.
oh,
They've already taken this building down. It's already gone. It's been gone for a while. So,
More questions? I entertain a motion then.
President, I move we approve the accessory structure for the Friends of the Hendricks County Historical Museum at 98 West Broadway Street.
Are we actually approving the structure or approving the recommendation from the design review committee?
you're approving the structure and
Okay.
accepting their recommendation.
Very good. Got a motion, do I hear a second?
I second the motion.
Motion and a second. Barry, please.
Ms. Ruppert,
Aye.
Mr. Harvey,
Aye.
Mr. Thompson,
Aye.
Ms. Howard,
Aye.
Mr. Van Leer.
Aye.
I vote aye as well.
Motion carried. 6-0. Do you have any reports? Any rumors? You wanna throw on us?
Not really, not anything that you haven't already heard about. We've been pretty busy trying to get projects, going so they can start breaking ground and begin
Or
construction.
they'll break ground anyway.
Well, yeah, some of them do. But, no, things have been pretty busy in our department, so that's a good thing.
If we have a meeting next month, do you know?
We don't have any new projects filed. I may be coming back for more text amendments, based on some comments that we've had from some other boards and committees. So you may be seeing a few amendments here in the future.
Nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Aye, opposed.
Out of here. Now, how do
X out of it.
you want me to turn?